All right, we are back here with CEVO-Main Season 3. We find ourselves in a best of 3 between Top 5 and Easy Bait Oven. I'm Helium, with me is Orbit.
And over on the stats is the Chef. And Top 5 took the first game 1-0, so they're going to look to try to close this out 2-0. They played really well. Had a bit of a shaky laning phase. I feel like a broken record whenever I cast them because they're never really too far ahead from laning stage, and then the mid game comes and they just tear the game apart. But Easy Bait Oven had a really strong showing in their early game. They had a really nice orchid timing on that storm, and he made things happen. It's just they were a little bit shaky in terms of getting picked off and in terms of the team fights in the mid game, and that led to their defeat in game 1. So they're looking to try to compound the advantage that they get early into the mid game and try to end the game there.
Yeah, also to touch on maybe not the best item choice going straight into a sheepstick after that early orchid. We both agreed that that BKB would have been a little bit earlier. Lots of magic damage to deal with, which is what let Top 5 run away with the game in the end. Very nicely done. We get into the draft now. We see some picks, we see some bans. Abandoned Lich being taken out, Clockwork, Elder Titan being taken out by Easy Bait Oven. In Top 5, they're going to go with a hero they like a lot, and Fly does like it in the mid lane. It's Pugna picked up first.
Yeah. Man, Pugna's so painful as a support. I had the privilege of dying to Pugna Ward as Dazzle the other day. It was pretty fun. Tried to save someone, just ended up killing myself. But enough about my hardships. Actually, Crystal Maiden is going to be in a world of hurt as well against the Pugna Ward. That is not fun either.
Yeah, her mana aura isn't even going to work next to the wards, yeah? Right? It's actually going to hurt the team being near the Nether Ward with the Arcane Aura.
It won't hurt them. It just won't really have much of an effect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still painful. Actually, interesting stat, CM is the most picked hero in 55% of games in this current patch, says the Chef Dota, which is crazy, actually. It's really impressive to see. That was a hero that last patch was just like almost non-existent in terms of...
Well, she started to squeeze in there at the end.
Very little.
Right
in
time for TI3, Crystal Maiden comes out and everyone's like, what?
What?
Who?
This hero's good? What? Yeah, pretty much. But Pugna ES... once again, really strong team fight. With the added push now with that Pugna pick, I wonder if they're going to be running it mid, because something that I have a problem with Pugna mid, and you had mentioned this in the first game's draft, is that I find it very weak with no escape. Yes, it does have a really good push, but it's very susceptible to smoke ganks from supports. And I mean, Crystal Maiden is definitely a support that can capitalize easily on smoking a Pugna.
Yeah, for sure. I do like Earthshaker, though. He can camp around with that Fissure just to defend the Pugna, and it's worth it because then they push towers, they get gold up onto Earthshaker, they can win some team fights as well with that Pugna, as he's protected by Earthshaker. And Top 5 could maybe again look to go for those ancient blocking shenanigans in the Dire off lane. It's Crystal Maiden and Luna that gets picked up there second for Easy Bait Oven, another hero that's goes nicely with the pushing meta, the Lunar Blessing, not to mention the Glaives, as we've got a lot of more heroes being banned out here. The Venomancer is going to take the fall there by Top 5. Timbersaw as well, going to be dropped out, a hero that you guys were valuing very, very highly the other day. And there's that Juggernaut trying to not be pushed in at 15 minutes.
Yep. Just something important to note, because Easy Bait Oven did have the choice of side or pick, they actually decided to choose the side in this game. So they chose Radiant, which is why we're seeing Top 5 on the Dire yet again. And which is why the Earthshaker is that much more of a threat being picked up by Top 5 again, because they can do a lot of stuff here. They have the mind game advantage now. It's forcing the warding to happen on the Dire's Ancient side. And I mean, they could be prepared for that, or they could just run it in some completely different lane, in a safe try lane or something. Or even just run it as an aggro without even pulling the Ancients. There's a lot they can do here.
That's the thing about Dota. They pick up an Earthshaker, they're on the Dire, you maybe think to yourself, hey, they're going to be doing the Ancient trick, and then all of a sudden there's maybe an Earthshaker mid in KZZ fashion, or even trying to farm it as a carry in the top lane, Crit Shaker as... I feel like no one in the pro scene yet, besides an NEL I've seen, try to go for an Enchant Totem Crit Shaker build. 400% bonus. You can Battle Fury and some crit, you could kill a whole team with one big baseball swing.
I think we ran that once. Jiggle Billy played it.
Yeah, you did actually. I believe you did. And either one of the CEVO show matches going into Season 3 or sometime along,
it was a show match
there.
for sure.
And Jiggle Billy, quite the show man himself. As it's some push heroes in the carry, semi-carry roles being banned out there. Lone Druid and the Juggernaut. Nyx Assassin is the pick. One of the best heroes to have versus Pugna.
Yeah, I like it. It's the only thing is, I mean, you're gonna want to get that carapace up pretty early, I guess, and the mana burn on Pugna. But if Pugna gets his ward down in a good place, Nyx is still a combo hero, and combo heroes still don't do that well against the Death Ward. Is that what it's called? Nether Ward. I call it Death Ward.
It literally is the Ward of Death.
Yeah,
so,
Ward of Death.
Especially to heroes like Nyx, as you mentioned. That being said, I think this is a game where I would max mana burn over Impale. Pugna has an int gain of 4. I don't know. Yep. Maybe it needs to be theory crafted with, but it seems viable just to do 800 damage to Pugna when he's level, 15 or something.
Yeah, mana burn, being able to spam it a lot would also be pretty good. As long as you deal with the ward, you're okay. Just waiting on the 4th pick now. And yeah, there's some pretty cool stats actually that I'm being fed by the chef here about the drafting in this patch. The top 5 heroes that are banned since this patch are Elder Titan at first, Pugna, Timbersaw, Lich, and Visage. How many of those do we actually see? I see Elder Titan and Lich. I don't actually see Visage yet, so that's pretty surprising that it hasn't been picked up yet. But Pugna, of course, was valued very highly by top 5, and they're going to get that first pick there. Disruptor. Whoa.
Alright, this hero I like. It fits the color scheme nicely that Easy Bait Oven has going on their team right now, and that's always important to me.
Yes.
However, I think people maybe overlook Disruptor's ability to shut down push. The threat of overextending, trying to dive past a tower maybe early, some calculated aggression by top 5, or not so calculated by Fly in a couple of situations in Game 1. Overextending into a Static Storm or a Static Storm kinetic field, that could be bad. Or even trying to retreat out, being caught by Glimpse. I mean, Disruptor is great, and he hasn't been picked up a lot with the recent changes. But get an Ags early on Disruptor, and I say GG.
I think this is a mid Disruptor, too, so really early aggressive draft here from Easy Bait Oven. I mean, it does really well against Viper. The level 1 Thunderstrike does how much damage? 160 at level 1, which is quite a bit for a level 1 spell. And it could really do well in trying to catch heroes out of position and making them suffer because of Glimpse.
Yeah, so, Thunderstrike got buffed in, it was 6.78 where they switched it to a 6-second duration with 4 strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The scary part is that, in my opinion, they don't have... all their heroes are very squishy. And, I mean, if Earthshaker gets a blink, it's going to be really painful. If Viper gets fed and gets tanky, it's going to be painful. Even Pugna, I mean, his blast is going to really hurt a lot in the early game into mid game.
Yeah, we'll see how much Disruptor can get done. And judging by the picks, we've got 3 classic, maybe not classic, but support heroes there. Crystal Maiden, Nyx, Disruptor. It could very well be Disruptor in the mid lane, and that's the one case you mentioned Thunderstrike, where you would actually max Thunderstrike first, I feel. And here goes an Ancient Apparition, and I feel that's a pretty interesting pick here. They don't have anything that's maybe the Viper Strike, maybe a well-placed Fissure after Cold Feet is going to be applied to somebody, but Cold Feet snapping here might not have that high of a likelihood, especially with the Dark Seer with Surge being picked up here.
I like that pick for sure. Definitely a hero we haven't seen very much in this patch, but shouldn't be forgotten too much. I mean, the combo with Disruptor is massive, with Crystal Maiden ult on top of that, even an Impale, if done properly, which is a lot harder now.
Whiffed because of point target.
Yeah, but DS was a really good pick here with their team. The DK pick is very interesting, though, too, and it's going to be Fly playing that. I believe Fly was he is their mid player still, so he's probably looking to go mid on the DK here. Not going to be Viper or Pugna mid.
Yeah, which
leads me to believe that aggro try or dual lanes might happen. They could do dual lane shenanigans with the Earthshaker Ancient pulling again. That's probably what's going to happen too.
Yeah, I suppose. It looks like, Fly going into the mid lane. We'll just go ahead and introduce the teams here. Top 5 on the Dire right now. It's to start off with Dragon Knight. Fly there, going to be handling that. Going into the mid lane with no regen. Maybe going to be shared some right now. He is going to be shared a couple as those cool new Tango animations get sent out to him in the mid lane. In the bottom lane, it's going to be Wrong, tanking up the creep wave at the tower, backed up by, and he's playing the Viper, backed up by Ancient Apparition. DD going to be handling that. Shanks on the Earthshaker once again, buy sentries to start off, and they're going to look to reroute into these Ancients, of course. And last but not least for top 5, it's Legend Dog in the top lane, carrying here on that Pugna. Hoping
There's
for
a big
1v1
mistake.
maybe.
Big mistake for the Dire. Look at both of the supports items.
Uh-oh, what do they do now?
There's no observer wards on them, so they're gonna be completely blind for the first like bit of the game. They both opted to go sentries, unfortunately. Yeah. I saw Ancient Apparition with them, and I was like, oh, they're doing the same thing they did with CM last time. But then Earthshaker has them too. And he actually put one down because they're expecting the ward to happen, which isn't. They're in fact going to get aggroed from what it looks like. But over on the Radiant, enough about warding mishaps. We have Rarsum playing the Nyx Assassin. He's going to carry both wards here and get an Observer down in a pretty unconventional spot. Crystal Maiden. It's better with Bacon. He's going to be playing that. They're going to go up and support Blarg up on the Luna in this aggressive tri-lane, which is a really smart way of dealing with this. They can actually destroy this Pugna because this Ancient Apparition's going to be a little bit late and doesn't really have anything to stop them from going on him. I feel like they can play really aggressive here and just zone them out.
Exactly.
Then we have Miasma playing the Disruptor. He's going to get a pretty quick level 2. He already used his Thunderstrike to do some harassment onto Fly there, and Fly is looking not that great on health. And finally, Dr. Doom looking to put a lot of pressure onto the Viper here, and looking to get aggressive, even though he is getting Ancient pulled yet again in this game. He's on the Darkseer.
And I think Miasma's got to be pretty excited about not finding Viper in the mid lane. Of course, DK, once he gets a couple points there in Dragon's Blood, should be able to out-sustain some of the Thunderstrikes. Maybe not, though. That spell does a lot of damage. And
yeah, it does.
It's going to hurt as he continues to max that. Probably just going to forego Kinetic Field, I think. The Glimpse is just so powerful in the mid-game to punish any positioning overextension. If you've got good warding, you can always catch out the supports when they try to run away. And you mentioned AA, Ancient Apparition, getting to the top lane late, and this lane. When I think of defensive supports, Ancient Apparition is probably the last person to come to mind.
So they see this. They see the rotation from the Earthshaker here.
Yeah, nice ward there behind the tower, making sure nothing is going to catch them off guard here in this aggressive tri-lane with squishy heroes that I think they really need to win.
This isn't going to see this. That's pretty interesting. They're not going to be able to get the D ward off, so it's going to be a straight 3v3 lane. And I think this favors the Radiant for the time being, although Luna's a pretty squishy hero, but they have a lot of damage output on their heroes. Yeah. CM level 2 is scary.
Even a Decrepify into a Fissure Blast, that's going to take Blarg down to like 10% of his HP.
This is why. This is why it doesn't see it, because this sentry doesn't actually block that camp. I was a bit confused. I was like, this should have been able to, but no.
Okay.
That's a bit of a mistake as well in terms of warding there. It's a bit of a waste of a sentry.
Lots of warding talk here tonight. I really like this one here if you
Yeah.
see me drawing on the map. Putting the sentry down there on the backside of the camp to get these spots.
Oh, that's...
And then I just put the other one at the top right here, so you cover it like 95% of the ward spots. That's pretty nice.
I think this one, the one that they did actually put, covers everything except one spot. Which
yeah, that one's pretty good. Dire Camp's easy mode, so I guess we don't really even need to talk too much about that one, but...
Yeah. Look how low Fly is. Wow. We totally missed that. Look at the amount of damage that Disruptor put on DK. Forcing him back is insanely big, and he's only level 4 as well, so Miasma getting a really good advantage here. He should be bottle coring right now, though. I think that's a little bit of a mistake. He could be easily getting his bottle in time for the 4-minute rune if he had done it a bit earlier. But it looks like rotation's happening now. They want to dodge this. They see the safe lane, tri-lane happening in terms of the Dire's kind of efforts, and they're like, oh, sweet, we're not getting Ancient pulled anymore. Awesome. And they're rotating their entire lanes, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's going to be okay, I think, for the Radiant, because Viper does well versus a Darkseer. Viper was winning out in the CS 13-7, 2-3-1 even. And wrong, though, in the wrong place. A little too far out as the tri-lane rotation now goes into full swing. He gets a lot of damage out, but Blarg on the Luna will be drawing up that first blood. Nicely done. Fly comes back into the mid lane, and Miasma, yeah, did definitely miss out on the Bottle Crow. He's got a rune top. We'll see if he can grab up the rune. Fly's guessing for it, and he's going to get it first, so that hurts. No glimpse.
Yeah, glimpse.
Yeah, nice. Almost gets it, though.
Something really funny. Fly was going to TP mid, but then had to cancel his TP because Disruptor was just standing on the cliff, watching him TP, and just getting ready to glimpse him home.
Like,
so
yes,
Miasma
please, TP.
taking full advantage of that hero, and he's playing it really well so far.
It does put a point in kinetic field. I suppose kinetic field's nice to have defensively, so you can maybe run away from a gank in the mid lane, or even trap people if they overextend at your tower early on. And kinetic field did receive a buff. It does form faster now. It forms in... Was it from 1.5 to 1.2, or is this tooltip not updated? And it was... I thought it was 1.2 to 1 second.
I'm not sure actually.
The tooltips took a bit of a hit here in 6.79. That's to say the least. A lot of them are not correct.
Yeah, some misinformation there.
That's Dota though. That's half the fun. Like, wait a minute. It doesn't. My spell doesn't actually do that.
Wait a minute. I have to aim my stun now.
Yeah, seriously.
Viper
in the bot lane though. Yeah, Wrong could be in some trouble. Rarsum swinging around the backside.
He should know. He has to know.
He's
Come on
pretty
now. Okay,
sandwiched in here. Rarsum will find him. Will he miss the impale though? You can actually just spike Carapace at any point because of corrosive armor to set up a stun into the impale.
That's something that's really big. I didn't think of that at all.
Well, you know, professional caster. Miasma in the mid lane again, still dominating.
Yeah, really good setup there. Setup potential, and Earthshaker has rotated, and he's doing this again now. He's being a pain.
Oh, Shanks.
Wonder what they're gonna do here.
Well, warding it doesn't really do anything, so I think it's a waste if they even try to put a sentry here. Because, again, he can get 3 or 4 pulls off into this Ancient Camp before it dies, and the damage is done at that point. They don't even need it to respawn. But Blard's doing nicely down here. Oh, Disruptor gets the kill in the mid lane.
And he gets the haste rune, too. You could go get mana boots, go home, and then gank. As long as he gets, like, a TP from his support. I think what they could do against the Earthshaker is just have these 2 heroes smoke around and just like sit there and try to kill. Oh.
Bot lane, Shanks says no. You think he's playing anti-mage with the amount of fun he is stopping here from easy bait of it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I like your point for Miasma to go gank. He had a haste, could have bought the mana boots, could have just used his bottle charge, his mana boots, went top, and they could have killed AA. What's AA gonna do up in this top lane versus a Disruptor just running him down? Pugna can offer, what, 1 Nether Blast, but then you're just going to run away with the haste anyway, so I don't know.
This is really smart.
Doing nicely.
He decided to go Phase Boots instead of Arcanes, and I really like this. If he's going to go Ags, he's going to have a lot of extra mana and health because of that anyways. Not only that, but the reason it's so good is because he can really put a lot of pressure on the mid. And, you know, rotating mid is something Top 5 hasn't necessarily had to do that often, in terms of they are normally pretty confident in the fact that Fly can do well mid, but he is suffering here in terms of just the amount of raw damage coming out. He's gonna die.
He's dead, yeah.
Yeah, oh, let's see.
I think one more with Dreadblood. Yep, that's gonna get him. But, you know, they do trade. It's still 3 heroes for the Dire rotating into the mid lane, and it goes 1 for 1. That being said, there's a kill on the bot lane that maybe Luna shouldn't have given up there.
It's because of Wrong's level. He's level 7 now, and it's gains to level 5 Luna. If Luna was 6, it could have been way different.
Oh, Rarsum in trouble in the mid lane. Cold Feet goes out. Won't snap, though. And this is what I... Oh, okay, well, okay, it does. But he's safe. He's so far away that they don't really have anything to set up that Cold Feet.
Yep. Their Luna needs help bottom. He can't go near the Viper right now, because Viper will just kite him. They need help. They need to smoke, I think. But neither support really has that much mana, so there isn't much they can do. Regen going to be on the bottom lane. We'll see which hero takes that up. Going to be really vital for anyone, really, at the time.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting to see why they picked Ancient Apparition. I'm thinking maybe to deal with Luna's push, just because I feel like one of the most annoying heroes to push into is actually Ancient Apparition. And I'd even say Disruptor, 2 heroes you don't normally think about in the current metagame, or even in the last metagames of the past.
Yeah, it's a pretty surprising pick. Definitely not one we see every day.
We'll see what he can get done. He's level 5 here, just 8.5 minutes, so it's not too bad. Of course, they were running duo lanes. Checking in on Pugna, that's Legend Dog, who's coming off an epic performance on Juggernaut. He's 44-2, he's still farming very well, has mana boots, looking to go maybe for a quick 4-staff, but probably just building mech.
It's the mech, yeah. He's actually almost has it. So he's about, I don't know, maybe the recipe away or so.
He's
about 1,000 gold.
1,050, yeah. Smoke here on the bottom lane. Wrong is going to be broken out of it immediately. Goes right onto Rarsum. Rarsum's level 4. Nicely placed ward there. Going to buy him some time.
Yeah.
Again, he can Carapace and continue to run. I don't think the other supports are going to be able to catch him up. Shanks has that long-range Fissure, but he's okay.
Look at him chase.
Yeah,
man. They could have caught them there if they had TP support from, like, the DS. Oh, wow, they're gonna find the Viper now.
Actually, there's no TP support because Disruptor goes down in the mid lane. Fly takes him out. Better with Bacon now, gonna be taken out there. You think she'd be immune to Cold Feet, but she's not. And they get a double kill, wrong, double killing the supports. And as we also see, Disruptor went down in the mid lane. Was that solo, just the stun, and then the Dragon Form, I think, is really pumping out the damage right now. Very squishy still, because he picks up those phase boots. Mana boots wouldn't have changed that either. But top lane, we've got Legend Dog in trouble. Glimpse out. And there's the kinetic field, not able to run away from that one. Do they have the vacuum? They do, and it's not going to be enough. He dishes out a lot of damage, but will go down. And Netherward's actually going to hit Darkseer pretty hard later, too. He's a combo hero of... He's king of the combo heroes, I feel like.
For sure. I think that was a really important kill they needed to have happen. And Miasma makes the right rotation and guarantees the kill on the farming Pugna. So, going into this mid-game, it's hard to tell who has the advantage. I think it's still a very even game. Fly has been really shut down in the mid lane, but at the same time, Blarg has a death to his name. And Viper is doing a lot better than he really should be doing. That being said, I mean, Darkseer is doing quite well for himself as well. So, he doesn't really have any... He's not scared of anyone at the moment. Pugna won't be able to really touch him.
Yeah, and you mentioned close game. Checking out the graphs, only 500 gold in favor of Easy Bait Oven on the Radiant. 1,000 XP, though, for top 5 on the Dire. 5-4, they lead by 1 kill. And if they win here in this game, they're going to win this series 2-0. But, of course, Easy Bait Oven, they want to make a game of it. A series of it, rather.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Curious to see if Miasma, what he's going to do here. He doesn't have any bottle charges. And, I mean, Shanks is just sitting here. He's just waiting for something to happen mid. He's like, you know what? I don't really need any... I don't need to be bottom at all. Viper's doing pretty well. He can even zone Luna solo out of the lane, so that's not a problem. Top, there isn't really much of a point because we can't really kill him. So if anything, I'm just going to sit mid and deal with any kills that might happen in the mid lane.
I feel like Earthshaker's a hero you can pick up and just... He can be level 1 the whole game, and as long as he thwarts any ganks for the other team with Fisher in the mid lane, Fisher only gets better in damage. Everything else is the same. Lasts 8 seconds, has the same range. Okay, the stun duration scales a little bit, but I mean, if you're blocking off the mid lane to stop any ganks,
oh boy.
Ultimate goes out, and it lands dead regardless, but it's actually going to be the Dragon's Breath from Fly. Breathe Fire. That takes him down there. Fly gets a kill, nicely done, starting to bounce back as he's pretty down in the net worth. And now Wrong in the bottom lane. Frostbite goes out from Better with Bacon. Wrong impaled up, not going to miss that one. Lucent Bing, Blarg on the backside trying to wrap around, but Wrong's going to take out Better with Bacon first. And this is 4 heroes involved trying to kill 1, and they finally get him. It's Darkseer that cleans it up, and Darkseer has the mech finished up off of that. And I saw a Vanguard out on somebody I thought was interesting. It's actually the Viper that goes for that Vanguard.
Huh, that's really surprising. Definitely not... I mean, we used to see it a lot, but because of the change that have the damage negation, the damage block on ranged heroes, I mean, we haven't really seen that much. Miasma is in a scary place.
But he's actually going to get Legend Dog with the Static Storm. Nicely done with the Glimpse back. Locks him in the kinetic field. Here's DD now. Wow, look at the ultimate goes out. He doesn't get the damage hit, but he still applies the debuff of not regenerating HP. And Fly flies in there, swoops in there from the side, and will take him down.
They get the tower, but losing Pugna once again. Their carry, I guess, in this sense of the word here. He's going to go down, and that's a pretty good play there, but of course the solo mid does go down as well. Nick's level 6. He's going to try to catch the AA, but AA decides, I'm scared. I want my Midas. I want my money. I want to go home. And he goes home.
Wow, speaking of Midas, Blarg actually does have one. He almost dies in the bottom lane.
It's a pretty good bounce back hero. Just waiting on this pause for the time being. But, yeah, 6-8 is the score. Of course, we did mention that Vanguard. I don't know. I think if you're going to go Vanguard, why not just go Ags? I mean, you get pretty much the same amount of health. Yeah, you don't have the damage block, but you have like a really good ultimate on a 12-second cooldown in that sense. And it's not that much more gold. I want to say it's about 2,000 more gold for it. And it's really beneficial for the extra 2,000 gold.
Yeah, 2,000 sounds about right. I was like, I haven't bought a Vanguard in like 8 years, so I can add up the pieces, but it's been a long time. Yeah, it is.
So, the fact that Fly hasn't picked up Treads leads me to believe that he might be going something like a Necro book.
Ew.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
So disappointed.
Yeah, well. Rotation happening by Pugna down onto the bottom lane, and Earthshaker's just chilling as well there. And they're going to get this tower pretty easily as well. There hasn't really been much of a contest or even a trade happening. Or even like posturing or pressure from the Radiant. They're kind of just sitting back and letting their towers get taken. It's now 3-0 in terms of towers. And we should be seeing a little bit of a gold advantage because of that. And we do, as it is over 3,000 gold advantage, which is a pretty healthy advantage in favor of the Dire.
Yeah, it's actually getting to maybe a problematic point here. Is 4,000 gold advantage in just 14 minutes. That's pretty big. If you think about it in terms of an item, that's an Ags, like right there in 4,000 gold, just to put an item's name out there that is roughly that. Of course, it's distributed over a couple other heroes. We see top 5, though, their heroes in the top of the net worth charts, 5.6 on Pugna, 5.5 on Fly, the DK that had such a hard time. Tower gold is great.
Oh, wow.
Wall goes out. Static Storm kinetic field by Miasma. Nicely done. Fly's locked in there. Will go down. Netherward doing a bit of damage, but it's AA and DK that take the fall. 3 down for easy bait oven, and Pugna still alive, still healthy. That's a Darkseer that just disappears. And that's what happens when Legend Dog on a Pugna gets a nice ward off, isn't dealt with, and just layers down a couple big Nether Blasts. And they ate a full 2-3 man, maybe just 2 Static Storm on that DK, and one other. I think the AA, the 2 that died, you know, in Static Storm. So
how good is that ward though? Like, people just melted, and it was a really nice AA ulti as well. I mean, not a fun fight.
No, having a 3 hero hit specifically for the Nether ward now makes it so much better. And there's a small glimpse back. The mini stun going to be enough to lock him in there, but Shanks once again with a well-placed Fissure just says no, and it's just such a good defensive and offensive hero. I just like how Earthshaker can switch his role so quickly. And he's halfway to a Blink Dagger now after Mana Boots.
Nyx almost killed him in that last fight. Nyx didn't use Spike Carapace at all, and if he had Spike Carapace, he would have gotten the ultimate of Earthshaker, and it probably would have killed the ES. So, maybe he thought he had a little bit more time before he used his Spike Carapace, but didn't actually end up getting it off, and unfortunately pays the price. He did pick off the AA in the back though, so that wasn't bad. I actually expected that fight to go a lot more in favor of Easy Bait Oven, because that was a pretty decent wall placement, but I mean, he probably lost half his health because of that as well, so...
Yeah, it's a pretty costly spell in the mana department. 300 mana, and then you're going to do what?
It's 1.75.
So that should be 525 damage every time he throws out his... that math! Every time he throws out his Wall of Replica. Not really. I just know because Starfall is the same thing. 75% damage on the second one. 300, 525.
Yeah. It's big, though. It's a big problem. I mean, they need to deal with that ward early, and the heroes that the Dire have are really tanky in nature, and they have really nice positional long-range initiation with the ES and the AA. So it's really hard to get in the middle of everything and try to kill that ward if it's placed properly. The Death Ward, man. Death Ward strikes again.
I think easy.
Whoa, that's a lot of TPs.
It is a lot of TPs, but it's to deal with Blarg there, and boom! Fissure, long range, that extra 100 range. Earthshaker's so good right now. And even, that's in the daytime, of course, but just a little while ago at nighttime, Luna, a hero that does have unobstructed, well, not unobstructed, but, you know, normal vision at nighttime, which is huge. If you're newer to Dota, you might be saying, whatever. You might not even be aware of daytime, nighttime cycles. But it's huge as a carry to be able to be left alone in the lane and spot those ganks. But Earthshaker, his Fissure is longer than that normal vision, and they picked him off at nighttime once, too.
Yep. Just now, once again, they get that pick off and they're going right back in. They deal with the hard carry and they're like, you know what? Let's keep fighting. Let's try to force something mid. And I think that the Radiant wants to respond to the pressure that the Dire is having, but it's really hard. I mean, this team is really geared to try to take things in the mid game. Shanks is getting close to his dagger. Closer. Oh, there we go.
Big for the team. Nice stun goes off. That's Pugna that drops. That's pretty much going to stop the push, but there's a nice AA ult onto a couple Fly. The winged creatures looking to put out their poisons and that cleave from DK, of course. Nice wall, though, on the retreat. Going to be blocked up there by Darkseer. Another stun by the Nyx Assassin. Fly glimpse back. Going to have to run through the wall one more time. Won't make it. AADD going to drop there. Will go down. Echo Slam by Shanks, though. It's a double kill for Rarsum. Double kill for Shanks on the Earthshaker. And it's, again, Easy Bait Oven. Great spells, great ults, and a fight that maybe looked like they could win. It was I think that AA ult really, really hurt them. There's a mechanism up right now, but when you throw the AA ult on 3, on 4, when they're all that close.
It was 4, yeah. That was the big one, for sure.
And just to explain how the ult works, maybe a lot of people, we don't see Ancient Apparition a lot in competitive play, so if you're tuning in and you're newer, Ancient Apparition that Ice Blast target area, sure, if you're in the target area, it does the burst damage, but if you just shoot that ult over a fight, regardless of where it lands, it applies that no healing debuff.
And that combined with the amount of AoE pressure that an Earthshaker gives, I mean, the Earthshaker just walked up, used his ultimate just nonchalantly, and just gets a double kill and just walks right back out, careening up to 2,500 gold, and he has his Blink Dagger. That's a pretty much 18-minute or so blink that he got there, and picks up a gem on top of that. So he is really rich, and they want to keep up the pressure with that gem, I think, too. They really got caught out because of the Nyx Assassin. The Pugna going down so early in that fight meant that it really started in favor of Easy Bait Oven. And even at the end, it was a 4-for-3 exchange, so not an ideal win in terms of what top 5 wants, but they still barely edge it out because of nice support play.
Yeah, they got the tower as well. It was actually just destroyed. No one denied it. No hero lasted it. I think the creep maybe just took care of it at the end of the day. Or they
Viper
missed the
was
last
like,
hit, I'm not sure.
And
yeah.
missed. Yeah.
Yeah, 17-11, top 5 in a good position to end this in 2, which is unfortunate. I was really, really hoping for a best of 3. That being said, Darkseer as well as Disruptor, some of the best heroes to turtle with. But here's the Nyx Assassin going forward. There's the gem from Shanks. They see it, and Rarsum knows it has to back off. There's a nice wall on the backside, lands onto 3. Only a creep dies, though. The glimpse back there, gonna miss the kinetic field. Ultimate goes out, and this is gonna stop the push. Maybe even they want to turn around here, but that wall, Viper throwing out the slow onto Viper himself.
Damn, rank
wow,
121.
Shanks is that high. Their team is
good.
Pretty high up there as well. Top 5 has a over 5,000 team matchmaking rating, which doesn't really mean a lot because team matchmaking is kind of laughable, but
I guess
that's
so.
high.
Nothing happened there. I think they have to give up this, though. I mean, Earthshaker ult is just about now hit. AA ult is on such a low cooldown that it's up again, but they used CM ult there, they used Darkseer ult, sorry, that's my doorbell, and yeah, and they didn't really accomplish anything.
Radiant's top tower is
And yeah, the tower you said they were going to have to give up. Easy Bait Oven does decide to give it up. The Glyph of Fortification goes out on the top tier 2, which, you know, normally when you fortify it says you want to defend, and I don't know if they can. Are they trying to maybe sneak a Roche or maybe preemptively sneak to the Roche because top 5 just took a lot of map control off of that and maybe look to capitalize by taking Roche next. Who knows? No Aegis going into the high ground. Necronomicon about to be delivered. Not even about to be delivered here. Legend Dog had it finished up a couple minutes now, and he hasn't been delivered. Nether Ward goes out. That's wrong. Going to be picked off. Vacuum out onto a couple into the Static Storm kinetic field. 3 in it, but only 1 will go down. And I think with that, they may want to just retreat. Rarsum here on the flank, looking to pick somebody off. Shanks come through with the gem. Will they find him? They ping him out. They see him. They know he's there. Shanks needs to land this. Blinks forward. They see him. Oh, and he guesses wrong and blocks himself in, and looks like Orbit is back.
Yeah. Pretty interesting, actually. Was that just a 1 hero going down?
Yeah, it was just wrong, going really, really aggressive into the tier 3.
Making the wrong move there. Heyo. Anyways, 12-17 now because of that kill. Still a really healthy advantage, though, in favor of the Dire. And I'm sure you just weren't talking because you were face palming at how horrible that joke was.
No, I've made a couple of I've said wrong place, wrong time like 5 times tonight.
Okay.
So you're good. You get a free pass. Yeah, 8,000 gold advantage, 5,000 XP, but there's a glimpse back onto Fly, who does go for a Shadow Blade. I think Shadow Blade is still, even with the nerfs, very core on Dragonite, and that's Rarsum. Shanks being wowed upon.
Yeah, that fissure just completely shut down the escape attempt there from the Nyx. Gets caught out of position because of the trap. Shanks, man, he's setting everything up for his team. He is doing so well. 3-0-11 Earthshaker. And just, I can't speak highly enough of his play this series. He's really playing well.
Dat ES, though. He warmed up in game 1. Of course, he's playing ES again here. And I like this. He knows there's no gem, or no wards up here because of his gem. He blinks up here, you know, looking to sit on his perch, his throne. And there's going to be no attempt to stop this. Do they even know what's going on? All the wave, all the lanes are pushed out onto the Radiant side of the map, with maybe the exception of top. Not the fastest Roche in the books, but they're going to be able to get it without any contest from Easy Bait Oven. Necro 2 now coming out for the Pugna, and I'm disappointed that Necro book has been chosen.
I think he could have gone for a lot more, a lot better options.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the Necro book, he's sitting at only 1,000 health, and even before, like, He had 800 health without the Necro Book, so I mean, he needs to get his health up somehow. But I guess they did give him the Aegis, so that's one way of dealing with that. Who cares if you have no health if you have 2 lives?
Well, they can't even get to the Pugna right now. Fly is really big, really tanky. He's got 20 armor, 1500 HP. Wrong as well, 1664 with the Vanguard as well, 12 armor. The Fisher block, you can't get to Pugna. I mean, unless Pugna gets caught out by the Nyx Assassin and Shanks, to much of our approval, picks up that gem early. When you have an advantage like this, I mean, pick up a gem and shut down a hero like Nyx Assassin that can put the other team back in the game. They can't, and Gem has not dropped off of Shanks yet. He's actually not dropped this game.
What damage output really does the Radiant have? I mean, the wall is a big threat, like with the combo and everything, but I mean, they don't have any right click except the Luna, who is really behind in terms of her items. So there's nothing really to worry about. Wow, they're actually going to catch the Pugna, who drops down the ward instantly.
AA ult though coming in onto 2, gonna land directly on him. Wall vacuum onto 4, but no, it doesn't do anything. The Dire team not even scathed. Ultimate goes off by Luna. They mech out of it. They will be able to run away. Not even the Ancient Apparition will go down. The wall illusions are dealt with. 20-12. Luna on the deck, and does she have a buyback? She does, but forcing that buyback out, we mentioned she doesn't already have a lot of farm. Doesn't have her core items. It's gonna delay it even further. And Easy Bait Oven, they're gonna have to buy back here.
Yeah, I think they have to, but even then they can't compete at all, I don't think. Nyx Assassin gonna get stunned. He looks like he's just gonna go down there as well. And AA gets the last hit as well, so just some decently solid play. They have so many tanky cores at the moment, besides the Pugna, who isn't actually that tanky, that, I mean, you can't really run through them to deal with the Pugna and the ward or anything like that. And then Earthshaker and AA are just, you know, sitting in the back, making sure that their cores stay alive, providing proper utility.
Yeah,
and that was a few racks, and that's pretty much the game.
Oh, we gotta
GG!
GG! Gotta do it. We'll get better at it, and we won't laugh afterwards in the future.
Yeah, we'll make it professional.
Okay, so one point I wanted to make is, when you were gone, maybe answering the door, Easy Bait Oven did use their Glyph of Fortification on the top tier 2 tower, which they then didn't even go to defend. Had they had it there, they could have maybe delayed the game a little more. It ends at 25-58, the score being 22-12, and Luna didn't even buy back, so maybe a little beaten down here in game 2. Top 5 with maybe an expected win here. They look to be pretty favored overall as contenders to win Season 3. I'm Helium, and with me is Orbit. If you've got any parting words or sentences.
Looking to see more high-level play. Stay tuned. Make sure to follow this channel, because this is going to be the channel for all CEVO games for Dota 2 for sure. And looking to see more really nice games. That was a really good series today. So stay tuned, guys, because in the next few weeks, definitely more top-level games right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this ended pretty early since it was just 2 games. I'm just going to throw on some music and look and see if we can't maybe find another series halfway through or maybe even just starting. So stay tuned. I'll keep the stream up for a little while. And yeah, again, like Orbit said, make sure to follow twitch.tv/playcevo. You're going to see not only just Dota 2 here, so it could be a lot of fun. Get involved in quite a few esports. And you can follow me on Twitter @HeliumBrella. Maybe Orbit will use his @Orbit